Every new morning, as the sun rises, the world is ready to challenge you. It won't ask if you're ready for its trials, nor will it wait until you feel an inner strength. It will simply begin, overwhelming your consciousness with the noise of daily life, the opinions of others, mounting pressure, relentless deadlines, frustrating delays, bitter disappointments in people, and powerful emotions that pull you in unwanted directions. This is why true wisdom isn't about waking up and expecting peace, but about actively creating it. First and foremost, there are 5 fundamental truths you must remind yourself of daily. These reminders are not for fleeting motivation or encouragement, but for cultivating an unshakable fortitude capable of withstanding any of life's adversities. It is crucial to train your inner voice and strengthen it before the outside world has a chance to influence it. You need a foundation far stronger than any emotion. This is the lesson of the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. True strength comes not from getting what you want, but from how you respond when your expectations are not met. The first thing to understand and accept is this: no one owes you anything. At first glance, this statement might seem cold, perhaps even harsh, but it is actually one of the most liberating truths you could ever learn. No one is obligated to respect you. No one is obligated to be kind. No one is obligated to understand your motives or feelings. And people are certainly not obligated to behave as you expect them to. However, this is not a reason for bitterness or resentment. On the contrary, it is a profound opportunity to find true freedom. The moment you stop expecting the world to treat you a certain way, you stop surrendering your inner peace to the inconsistent behavior of others. You stop entering situations seeking approval and cease to be surprised when others let you down, because you now deeply understand they were never obligated to meet your expectations in the first place. Thus, instead of reacting impulsively to every disappointment, you become unshakable, like a monolith. You are no longer wounded by every minor slight or confused by the inconsistency or whims of others. You understand the rules of existence, and this allows you to move through life with composure and complete control over your own reactions and emotions. Alongside other vital life principles, there is this: you cannot control others. You can only control yourself. Few things are more draining than the fruitless attempts to manage others' emotions, influence their decisions, or shape their opinions. Such efforts inevitably lead to profound inner turmoil, as you are trying to fix what was never yours to begin with. This is where people rapidly deplete their vital energy. They spend an inordinate amount of time trying to change someone who has no desire to change. They engage in exhausting debates, hoping to be understood when the other person shows no interest in their perspective. They vainly try to prove their worth to those who have already decided to ignore it. This approach inevitably leads to emotional burnout. It dooms you to endless and fruitless cycles of disappointment. However, once you realize that your power and influence extend only to the boundaries of your own conduct, many aspects of life become much simpler. You stop trying to make others act correctly from your point of view. Instead, you focus your attention on acting rightly and ethically yourself. You stop striving for external validation, recognizing its ephemeral nature. Instead, your efforts are directed toward behaving in a way that aligns with your own self, respect, and internal principles. It is important to note that this does not mean abandoning care for others or becoming indifferent to them. It simply means relinquishing the desire to control what lies beyond your influence. In this new space, free from the burden of futile attempts at control, you find true inner peace and tranquility. Next, you must remind yourself of a key principle. Emotions are not instructions. It is natural to experience a wide range of feelings. Some days, you might feel a wave of unexplained fatigue or perhaps irritation, anger, anxiety, or self-doubt. These emotional states are perfectly normal. What is not normal and is in fact destructive is to believe that every emotion demands an immediate reaction. Stoicism teaches not to suppress these feelings, but to skillfully manage them, allowing them to pass through you without knocking you off your chosen path. Epictetus expressed this clearly when he said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This profound statement means you can feel anger without becoming its prisoner. You can experience sadness without drowning in its depths. You may feel a strong urge to say something, but can consciously choose silence. True strength lies in that choice. Strength is not about shouting the loudest or displaying outward aggression. True strength is knowing you could give in to an impulse, but consciously choosing tranquility instead. Most people live at the mercy of their feelings, but you do not have to follow their example. There is no need to blindly obey every thought that crosses your mind. There is no obligation to respond to every insult. All that is required is the discipline to pause, reflect, and make a conscious decision. Then, consider this profound thought: not everything deserves your energy. In the modern world, a subtle trap awaits. You unconsciously begin to believe you must respond to every stimulus, be it a digital post, a sharp remark, or an opinion that makes you uncomfortable. However, true power comes from discernment and the ability to distinguish. A wise person does not engage in every battle. They do not seek to prove every point. They do not participate in every argument they are invited to. As Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is precisely what happens when you squander your life force on every trivial matter. You begin to imagine an insult where there was none. You invent disrespect in situations where simple silence would have brought you peace. Sometimes, silence is not weakness, but the greatest wisdom. It is a conscious refusal to spend your emotional capital on people and circumstances that are not worth the investment. Your true mission is not to correct every misunderstanding. Your mission is to protect your focus, your precious time, and your clarity of mind. Some people crave a reaction more than a resolution. Do not give it to them. Remain untouched by the chaos. Finally, realize this: the responsibility for your inner state rests solely with you. Neither the weather, the news, the traffic, nor a rude comment determines your disposition. You are its source. Your reaction to events is your choice. Your perspective on the world is your discipline. It is easy to blame external circumstances. It is easy to say, "I'm just in a bad mood because..." But the truth is, your state of mind is not an accident. It is not a fleeting mood. It is a mindset, and therefore, it can be intentionally cultivated and trained. This is not about feeling positively excited all the time. This is not about toxic positivity that ignores reality. It is about taking responsibility for the atmosphere you bring into every room you enter. When things don't go according to plan, you maintain your inner calm. When the day is not going your way, you remain composed and focused. This is what separates reactive people from those with true resilience. You don't wait for ideal conditions to be at your best. You show up with a disciplined mindset. You maintain your inner form and balance regardless of the challenges the world throws at you. These 5 principles are not just reminders. They are anchors that can hold you steady in the turbulent currents of life. If you build your mindset around them, you become something the world rarely sees, a calm, balanced, and deeply focused individual in an age when most people are lost in the noise and rush of daily life. This is the quintessence of Stoicism. It is not about detaching from reality, but engaging with it from a position of greater inner strength and awareness. It is about being present, not passive. It is about fortitude, not aggression. It is about focus, not the desire for total control over external events. You do not need to be loud to have an impact. You do not need to fight to prove your strength. You need only cultivate an inner state that does not waver every time the world shakes. So every morning, remind yourself, quietly, alone, with unshakable confidence, no one owes you anything. You only control yourself. Your emotions are not your orders. Your energy is sacred, and your inner state is your choice. Repeat this until these truths become a part of your very being, your second nature. And when that happens, others will not be able to unbalance you or shake your confidence, because you will be grounded in something most people never build: unshakable self-possession. This is your ultimate strength, and this is how you protect it day after day.